Identity. B1 Plus, Class Audio. Published and copyright Oxford University Press 2020. Unit 1, page 10. Exercise 1. 1.
Follow instructions.
2.
Ask questions.
3.
Express your ideas and opinions.
4.
Speak a foreign language or use sign language.
5.
Take care of other people.
6.
Recognize emotions and be sympathetic.
7.
Do first aid.
8.
Remember names.
9.
Read a map and timetable.
10.
Apologize when you're wrong.
11.
Spell words correctly.
12.
Fix things that are broken.
13.
Cook a meal.
14.
Tell a joke.
15.
Make a speech or give a presentation.
Unit 1, page 11. Exercise 4. 1. B.
I'm brilliant at fixing computers. I'm great at fixing computers.
2. C.
I'm really good at remembering names. I'm very good at remembering names.
3. G.
I'm good at taking care of other people.
4. A.
I'm quite good at making speeches.
5. F.
I'm okay at spelling.
6. E.
I'm not very good at telling jokes.
7. H.
I'm bad at apologizing.
8. D.
I'm hopeless at cooking. I'm useless at cooking. I'm terrible at cooking.
Unit 1, page 11. Exercise 5.
I've got a twin sister called Callie. We look like each other, but we're good at different things. When we babysit our little cousin, Tommy, he prefers playing with me. I'm great at taking care of children because I'm good at recognizing their emotions, but Callie's useless at it. She usually makes dinner instead, but unfortunately, she's terrible at cooking too. I'm not a brilliant cook, but at least I don't burn everything. She always burns the food, and she never says sorry. In fact, she's hopeless at apologizing. I always apologize when I'm wrong. All my friends say that I'm funny and good at telling jokes, but Callie's really bad at it. But there's something my sister can do really well which I can't. She's brilliant at fixing things. People ask her for help when they've got broken phones or computers, and she can usually repair them. She's pretty cool, actually.
Unit 1, page 11. Caitlin's vlog. Exercises 2 and 3.
Hi there. Have you ever had a really difficult test? I did last week. It was a big maths test and I was really nervous. I'm hopeless at following instructions, but I'm brilliant at expressing my ideas. I think I'm much better at languages and writing than maths. Give me a spelling test any day of the week. Anyway, I really wanted to pass this test, so I made a decision to boost my brain power. I read some tips online about how to do it. First, I did some meditation. I breathed deeply for a few minutes. Some people believe that if we have more oxygen in our brains, we can learn better. Next, I did a crossword puzzle. Experts think we can become better at problem solving if we do lots of puzzles. Then for dinner, I cooked myself some salmon, even though I can't stand it. Apparently, the omega-3 in fish helps you remember names and numbers more easily. I'm useless at studying in the evenings, so after dinner, I had a cup of green tea. I think my concentration really improved. A pity it's so gross. After that, I studied the maths formulas carefully and drew mind maps to help me understand how to do them. Finally, I got an early night. I went to bed a whole hour earlier than usual. The test was really hard, but I answered all the questions. Afterwards, I asked Mark how he felt. He's brilliant at maths, but even he thought that it was difficult. Incredibly, I passed it. Phew! So, next time you've got a tricky test, try some of my tips and let me know if they work for you too. Bye!
Unit 1, page 12. Exercise 2. Are humans really more intelligent than animals?
For centuries, people have asked what makes us different from animals. We share almost 99% of our DNA with our closest relatives, chimpanzees. But have you ever wondered why they have never evolved as far as we have? According to some theories, the answer is our complex brains. The earliest human brains, from around 2 million years ago, were only big enough to process simple signals like sight and smell. As we developed into Homo sapiens, 1.5 million years later, our brains grew 3 times bigger. This was to make space for new skills like speech and problem solving. However, recent research into animal intelligence has made some interesting discoveries, and scientists are starting to question the facts about our superior intelligence.
1. Animals don't use language.
Except that several chimpanzees have already learnt to use sign language, and some other species have learnt to communicate in significant ways. In the 1990s, Dr. Irene Pepperberg published her studies of working with Alex, a parrot that could remember and name over 50 different objects.
2. Animals can't solve problems.
Except that some octopuses can learn how to open containers with great coordination and get food out of them. People who work in aquariums have known this for years. And a study in 2014 made some important discoveries about crows. It found that they could solve complex puzzles and use tools to get food.
3. Animals aren't aware of themselves.
Except that some chimpanzees, and a few dolphins and elephants, have all passed the mirror test. In this test, a scientist puts paint on an animal, then puts the animal in front of a mirror and watches its behavior. When they see themselves in the mirror, these animals then check their own body for the paint.
Unit 1, page 14. Exercise 2. Artificial intelligence. Will we have conversations with machines?
It's an old idea from science fiction movies, the computer that can talk intelligently to its human users. And it's becoming reality. When we talk to a voice-activated bot like Siri or Alexa on our devices, it can understand most languages, dialects or accents, and answer back. Experts believe that these virtual assistants will soon replace search engines as our way of accessing the internet. Language is a hot topic in the computing world, so we asked some experts, will we ever have natural conversations with our machines?
Yes.
Computers can learn, and amazingly, they learn languages in the same way that we do. They analyze the sentences that we say to them, recognize sequences in the grammar, and use those sequences to create new sentences. They're fast learners. In the future, your virtual assistant will probably also learn how to recognize your emotions from your speech. It might even make useful decisions like, "You sound sad. I'm going to find a funny film for you to watch." Or, "Your friend is coming round at 3 o'clock, but you sound ill. I'll call him for you."
No.
At the moment, we don't talk to computers, we give them commands. We probably won't ever be able to have a conversation with a bot. To understand a language, you need to have experience of the world. For example, if someone says, "Those shoes aren't going to fit my feet because they're too small," humans know that the word "they" refers to the shoes, not the feet. A computer, however, has never worn shoes, so it might interpret the sentence incorrectly and think that "they" refers to feet. A computer might understand grammar, but it won't ever understand jokes, sarcasm, or lies. The world, and our languages, are just too complicated for a machine to process.
Unit 1, page 15. Exercise 8. 1.
They aren't gonna fit.
2.
I'm gonna leave.
3.
What are you gonna do?
Unit 1, page 15. Exercise 9. Will we have conversations with machines?
Definitely.
Definitely not.
I think so.
I doubt it. I don't think so.
I hope so.
I hope not.
I'm afraid so.
I'm afraid not.
I expect so. I assume so. I guess so.
Unit 1, page 16. Exercise 2.
Do you ken what I'm saying? The principal language in Scotland is English, but Scottish people speak it with a strong regional accent. Surveys often reveal that the Scottish accent is one of the best loved accents in the UK. At one time, Scottish people were popular employees in telephone call centres because the Scottish accent was believed to sound honest and friendly. Scotland is also a country with its own languages, including Scottish Gaelic. Around 80,000 Scottish people can speak or understand it. Most of them live in the northwest of the country and on its islands. Gaelic is a Celtic language, similar to other languages in the British Isles, like Welsh. It was once thought to be a dying language, but people now want to keep it alive, and the number of speakers has stopped going down. There are Gaelic schools and TV channels, and in 2005, the Scottish Government promised to promote Gaelic as an official language of Scotland. Scots is much more common than Gaelic. Millions of Scottish people use Scots words in their everyday speech. Scots is well known, and most people from other parts of the UK can understand a few words from it.
Unit 1, page 16. Exercises 4 and 5.
Lindsay, Robert Burns is often called the national poet of Scotland. Can you help us understand what has made him so popular?
Well, Colin, Robert Burns was a real man of the people. He was born in a small cottage into an ordinary hard-working family of farmers. He worked on farms all through his childhood, but he also had a good education in reading, writing, languages and music. He began to write poems while he was still doing farm work.
So when did he start to become famous?
That was around 1786, when he published a collection of poems in Scots. It was an immediate success. It was unusual to see poems in dialect. People loved Burns's simple, direct style. He was always falling in love, and he wrote a lot of love poems. Many of them have become popular songs.
What are his most popular poems?
Well, most people would say his most famous poem is A Red, Red Rose. But of course, we all sing one of his poems on New Year's Eve. That's Auld Lang Syne.
Ah, yes. And I've never really known what Auld Lang Syne means. Can you help me out?
Well, the phrase translates into for old time's sake. It's a song about friendship and remembering old times.
And Burns died quite young, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He was only 37 when he died. Maybe because he worked so hard when he was younger. So, of course, that all adds to the romantic story.
And how is Burns remembered today?
Well, there's a whole tourist industry associated with him in the same way that Shakespeare has produced a tourist industry in England. Burns Country is on the west coast of Scotland, around Alloway, the village where he was born. And then, of course, there's Burns Night.
Ah, yes. So talk us through what happens on Burns Night.
Well, Burns Night is celebrated on Burns's birthday, the 25th of January. People get together to eat a Burns supper of haggis and other traditional Scottish food. The haggis is brought in on a special plate with bagpipes playing. Then somebody reads Burns's poem Address to a Haggis before it's cut. After that, there's eating, drinking, and usually traditional Scottish music and dancing.
And just remind us what a haggis is made of.
Sure. It's a sheep's stomach filled with meat, onions, and cereal.
Unit 1, page 17. Exercise 1.
Hi, Ali.
Hiya, Zach. Where are you?
I've gone to Scotland to visit my cousin, remember?
Zach, you're breaking up. What did you say?
Sorry, I'm in the Highlands. The connection is terrible here. Can you hear me now?
Not really. Could you speak up?
I'm just calling to tell you about my brilliant day at Loch Ness.
Sorry, I'm afraid I didn't catch that.
I said I went to Loch Ness this afternoon, and while we were walking by the lake...
Sorry, it's really noisy in here. Dad's working in the garden now. I'll close the window. That's better. What was that?
I think I saw Nessie.
What do you mean by Nessie?
She's the famous monster.
Sorry, I'm not following you.
I'm sure you'll recognise this.
I think so.
Oh, this connection is useless. Let's speak on the landline instead.
Okay, what's your cousin's phone number?
It's 029456877.
Could you repeat the last two numbers, please?
Sure, it's 77.
Great. I'll call you back right away.
Unit 1, page 17. Exercise 3. Asking for repetition.
What did you say? Sorry, I'm afraid I didn't catch that. What was that? Could you repeat the last two numbers, please?
Asking for clarification.
What do you mean by Nessie? Sorry, I'm not following you.
Explaining the problem.
You're breaking up. Sorry, I'm in the Highlands. Sorry, it's really noisy in here.
Towards Invalsey. Page 21, exercise 2.
Hello, ciao, hola, bonjour. Now, if you haven't guessed already, today we're talking about language learners called hyperpolyglots. My guest is language expert Sonia Matheson, who's interested in the brain's amazing ability to learn multiple languages. Sonia, what exactly is a hyperpolyglot?
Well, when it comes to speaking languages, there are many categories of people. There are monolinguals, who only speak one language. There are bilinguals, who, like me, speak two languages. Then there are polyglots, who speak several languages. And finally, hyperpolyglots, who speak many languages.
When you say many languages, how many is many?
Well, it varies between hyperpolyglots. For example, Ray Gillen, who's in his 50s, can speak 18 languages, whereas Emil Krebs, another hyperpolyglot, speaks an incredible 68 languages.
68 languages! How is that possible?
There's no doubt that the human brain is one of the most powerful tools on Earth. Research has shown that some people's brains are made to deal with many languages. It's really extraordinary the speed at which they can absorb new languages. Unlike other people who might find it difficult or boring, hyperpolyglots find learning languages fairly easy and enjoyable.
They just seem to be able to hear something in a foreign language, store it in their brain, and be able to use it when they need to.
So their brains are kind of like computers.
Well, it's not uncommon for people to compare computers to the human brain due to the way it processes and stores large quantities of information. However, where computers offer speed in carrying out certain tasks, there can be no doubt that the human brain is much more powerful. It can do something that a computer can't: interpret the information it processes. Hyperpolyglots really highlight this difference.
And their brains don't crash like a computer with all this information.
That's an interesting point. The thing is, hyperpolyglots don't use all their languages all the time. They seem to file away languages in their brain until they need to use them. I suppose it's kind of like an energy-saving function. Another thing is that hyperpolyglots don't always have the level of a native speaker in the languages they know. They have a very good working knowledge of the languages, but they can't speak them perfectly.
So why do hyperpolyglots learn all these languages? I mean, it's not like they need to use them daily.
Most of them love being able to communicate with each other and with native speakers online. Others are fascinated by languages as systems and just want to develop their language skills.
That's very interesting. Thank you, merci, danke, and obrigado for teaching us all about hyperpolyglots.
Unit 2, page 22. Exercise 1.
Arm,
5,
ankle,
13,
head,
1,
foot, feet,
14,
cheek,
17,
knee,
12,
back,
20,
thumb,
9,
chest,
4,
leg,
11,
neck,
2,
bone,
6,
stomach,
7,
elbow,
21,
mouth,
18,
shoulder,
3,
chin,
19,
toe,
15,
finger,
10,
wrist,
8,
forehead,
16. Unit 2, page 23. Exercise 4. 1,
I've got flu. I've got a cold.
B. 2,
I've got stomachache.
A. 3,
I've got a headache.
D. 4,
I've got a fever. I've got a temperature.
E. 5,
I've cut my finger.
H. 6,
I've got a sore throat and a cough.
F. 7.
My back hurts. I've got a pain in my back.
G. 8.
I feel sick.
C. 9.
I've broken my leg.
I. Unit 2, page 23. Liam's vlog. Exercises 2 and 3.
Hi. Well, have you noticed that I'm wearing something a bit different today? Yep, I've just come back from the hospital, and now I have to wear this. Ow! Oh, I really must remember not to do that. So, how did it happen? Well, imagine this. Our football team had a match this evening, and I was playing in goal. We were winning. We were 1 goal up. The other team were going to score another goal. So I threw myself at the ball, caught it, and came down really hard on my right arm. We carried on playing, but my hand was hurting really badly. In the end, they stopped the game, and I had to go to hospital. I had an X-ray, and it turns out that I've broken 2 fingers. So, I was the hero of the match. In my dreams. Look, I need to confess, that isn't exactly what happened. It's true that I had an X-ray, and it's true that I've broken 2 fingers. But the truth is that I had an accident before the match. I was cycling to the match when a cat ran in front of my bike, and I fell off. So that's it. How stupid is that? I didn't even play tonight. And now I have to wear this thing for a month. Things can't get much worse than this.
Unit 2, page 24. Exercise 2. Would you change your appearance to help a charity?
In the UK, people often do challenges to raise money for a charity. They climb a mountain or run 10 kilometres, and their friends and family give money to the charity in exchange for them completing the challenge. What would you do for a good cause? Would you be willing to change your appearance? Well, that's exactly what these people did. Tom Castle from Manchester is a YouTuber with the online name Syndicate. He wanted to make money for a motor neuron disease charity after his grandmother died from the disease. Syndicate started a charity page online where people could send money. And among other things, he promised to have his hair dyed blue in return. Thanks to his followers, his charity page made over £160,000. 16-year-old Ellie Mae Dawson from Yorkshire went a step further. She had her head shaved to make money for a cancer hospital. Ellie Mae's hair reached to her shoulders before she got it cut. She did it in memory of her mum, who had died 3 years earlier. Having your hair cut or shaved can help in another way too. Some charities use human hair to make wigs for cancer patients. James Sullivan from Portsmouth already had a few tattoos. He decided to have another one done for charity. He wanted to make money for a hospital where a friend's daughter was receiving treatment. James is a big fan of Portsmouth Football Club, So as a charity challenge, he agreed to get a tattoo done on his leg of the logo for Southampton FC, Portsmouth's biggest rivals. Lots of Southampton fans gave him money, but James now says that he'll never wear shorts again.
Unit 2, page 25, exercise 8A.
Had. Sad. Than. Mat. And.
Head. Said. Then. Met. End.
Unit 2, page 25, exercise 8B. 1,
Have you had your bed mended?
2,
She hurt her back and her neck when she fell.
3,
Did he get his leg broken during the match?
Unit 2, page 25, exercise 9.
Ear. 5. Lip. 1. Nose. 2. Eyebrow. 3. Tooth. Teeth. 4. Fingernail. 6.
Unit 2, page 25, exercise 10.
Look at these before and after photos of Brad Steele. He looks totally different.
Why? He was already gorgeous.
He's had his ears and his eyebrow pierced. And he's had his nails painted black too.
Wow. I think he's had some plastic surgery done. It looks like he's had his nose altered and his lips made bigger too.
No, I don't think so. He's had his hair cut and dyed, so his face looks different.
Maybe. I'm certain he's had his teeth whitened, though.
Unit 2, page 26, exercise 2. Body language advice.
The position of your body and the way that you move can communicate as much as your words. Do you need to make a good impression on someone? How should you sit, stand, or move? Read our advice below.
Making friends.
When you are talking to another person, lean forwards to show that you are interested. But you'd better not get too close, or the other person will feel uncomfortable. If you want people to like you, you should smile and nod your head yes to show that you're listening to them. But don't overdo it, or you might look a bit crazy.
At school.
If you want your teacher to be in a good mood, you ought to make eye contact when he or she talks to you. If you're sitting down, you shouldn't cross your arms or your legs, because it can look defensive or rude. If you have to give a presentation at school, you should stand still and make gestures with your hands. It makes you look more confident.
In an interview.
If you're having an interview for a job or a course, you need to look confident and attentive. To do this, you should sit up straight, put your shoulders back, and look up at your interviewer. You shouldn't look at the floor, because that makes you look bored.
Dates.
If you want someone to feel connected to you, you ought to try mirroring. That's when you copy the other person's position and gestures. But you should do it carefully. If people notice you doing it, they might think that you're a bit weird. And one warning, if your date is touching their face or neck when they speak, you should be careful. They might be lying.
Unit 2, page 27, exercise 8.
Bow. 2. Hug. 3. Nod. 1. Wave. 5. Kiss. 4. Shake hands. 6.
Unit 2, page 27, exercise 9. 1.
Cross your arms. Cross your legs.
2.
Give a thumbs up.
3.
Nod your head.
4.
Kiss someone on the cheek.
5.
Make eye contact.
6.
Make hand gestures.
Unit 2, page 27, exercise 10. 1.
In Greece, if you nod your head, it means you disagree.
2.
In Japan, people usually bow when they meet. In informal situations, it is okay to nod.
3.
In Spain, people often kiss when they meet. They usually start on the right cheek.
4.
In the UK, people usually shake hands the first time they meet.
Unit 2, page 28, exercise 2. Maori body art. Every tattoo tells a story.
The Maori are the native people of New Zealand. There are around 700,000 Maori people in the country, and some of their traditions date back at least 1,000 years. Tattoos in particular are a symbol of their cultural identity. According to a Maori legend, the art of tattooing didn't originate from humans. It was first taught by a spirit in the supernatural world to the Maori hero Mateora. Mateora then taught it to the rest of his people. Originally, Maori people had tattoos done when someone close to them died. The tattoo was a record and a sign of respect for that person. Maori tattoos also tell the wearer's personal history. They tell you which tribe a person belongs to, who their family members were, and how important their family is in the community. Tattoos on one side of the body or face usually give information about the person's father's family, and tattoos on the other side usually give information about their mother's family. Having your first tattoo done is part of the transition from being a child to becoming an adult. Both Maori men and women have tattoos, although it is traditional for women to only have them done on their lips and chin.
Unit 2, page 28, exercises 4 and 5.
So, welcome everyone to the Maori Cultural Centre. I'm sure that you already know two things that the Maori are famous for all over the world. Tattoos and the haka, right? Well, if you're a rugby fan, you'll certainly know about the haka ritual. It's a group dance that usually shows that a tribe is strong and united. The haka is now famous all over the world because the New Zealand rugby team performs it before matches. So, why the tattoos? Well, the culture of the tattoo dates right back to a time before the Maori even came to New Zealand. The Maori originally came from the Polynesian Islands, where tattoos are common. The word itself comes from the word tatau, from the island of Tahiti. Around 700 years ago, the Maori left their home in Polynesia and travelled to New Zealand in canoes, bringing the Polynesian culture with them. They lived in isolation here right until the first Europeans arrived in 1769 with the British explorer James Cook. After Captain Cook's discovery, Europeans began to arrive on the islands, looking for money and land. The next 100 years were not a happy time for the Maori. They lost around 50% of their population because of illness and fighting with the Europeans. But these days, Maori traditions, language and culture are celebrated again here in New Zealand, and the population has risen again. The culture of tattooing, or tā moko, to use its traditional name, has recently become very important again with the Maori. Luckily, today people usually get them done with a safe tattoo machine. But things were very different in early Maori culture. Hundreds of years ago, the tā moko designs were cut into the skin with special tools. This ritual obviously hurt a lot, so to have a tattoo done was a sign of great courage. The designs were then coloured black with an ink made from burnt wood. One thing I should add is that traditional tā moko is a sacred religious thing for the Maori. Non-Maoris shouldn't get them done because that would be offensive to the culture. Tā moko are not a fashion accessory.
Unit 2, page 29, exercise 1.
Hello. What seems to be the matter?
Well, I feel quite ill. I've got bad earache. I've also had some pain in my neck.
How long have you had the earache?
I've had it for about 2 days now.
Can I have a look?
Sure.
You've probably got an infection there. Have you had a fever?
I'm not sure.
I'll just check your temperature. Yes, it's a little high. You'd better have some antibiotics, and you should get plenty of rest.
Oh, okay.
Here's a prescription. Take them twice a day for 5 days.
What should I do if it doesn't get better?
You should come back and see me, but I'm sure it will be fine.
That's great. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Unit 2, page 29, exercise 3. Doctor.
What seems to be the matter? How long have you had the earache? Can I have a look? You've probably got an infection. I'll just check your temperature. You'd better have some antibiotics, and you should get plenty of rest. Here's a prescription. Take them twice a day.
patient.
I feel quite ill. I've got bad earache. I've also had some pain in my neck. I've had it for about 2 days now. What should I do if it doesn't get better?
Unit 3, page 32, Exercise 1.
Landfill waste. 7. Energy saving. 15. Solar panels. 13. Tree planting. 14. Endangered species. 2. Wind power. Wind turbines. 4. Conservation. 8. Fossil fuels. 6. Greenhouse gases. 11. Air pollution. Water pollution. Land pollution. 10. Climate change. 3. Recycling. 5. Deforestation. 12. Public transport. 9. Global warming. 1.
Unit 3, page 33, Exercise 5.
Conservation. Education. Pollution. Variation. Protection. Destruction. Deforestation. Extinction. Solution.
Unit 3, page 33, Caitlin's Vlog, Exercises 2 and 3.
OK, so our school is having a Go Green Week this week. We all have to make a special effort to be green and think hard about the impact we have on the environment. At the start of the week, some of us made a promise to do something green every day. So that's why I'm wearing these clothes. Cool, eh? Some of my friends and I are going to help collect rubbish at our local park, and then we're going to help plant some trees. That's part of a bigger plan to conserve the park and protect the wildlife in it. Mark's made a promise to walk or cycle to school every day. That way, he's going to make his own contribution to reducing pollution and global warming. Ah, here he is.
Hi, everyone. What do you think?
Mark, what are you wearing?
This is my new cycling kit. Do you like it? I thought it would be a good excuse to buy some new gear.
So what have you done with your old cycling clothes?
Oh, I threw them away. They were a bit old-fashioned.
But this is supposed to be Go Green Week. We're supposed to be thinking about waste. I think you're missing the point.
Ah. Well, they're only in the bin. I suppose I could get them out.
I think that would be a really, really good thing to do.
And give them to a charity shop?
Yes, now you're getting it.
Unit 3, page 34, exercise 1. 1.
Sign a petition.
2.
Support a cause. Support a campaign.
3.
Protest about an issue.
4.
Donate money to charity. Donate food to charity. Donate clothes to charity.
5.
Go on a demonstration.
6.
Raise awareness.
7.
Raise money for charity.
8.
Take part in an event.
Unit 3, page 34, exercise 3. Are these the 2 most eco-friendly celebrities on the planet?
Does your favourite celebrity support an environmental cause? How long have they been doing it? For some celebrities, the environment is just another fashionable trend, but for others, it's a lifelong commitment.
Shailene Woodley.
The young star is one of Hollywood's most vocal eco-warriors. Woodley uses her fame to support the causes of conservation and sustainability. But she hasn't just been talking about the environment for the last few years. She's been living in a sustainable way for most of her life. She makes her own food, and she's been recycling and buying second-hand clothes since she was a teenager. She donates thousands of dollars to young people's charities, and she once gave away most of her possessions, including a house. In 2016, Woodley was arrested when she went on a demonstration against plans to put an oil pipeline through Native American land in North Dakota. Protesters believed that the pipeline could pollute water in the region. The Native Americans have been protesting about oil pipelines for a long time, but Woodley's arrest gave the issue more publicity.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
One of the world's most famous actors also has an alternative career as an environmentalist. Leonardo DiCaprio has his own charity, the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation. The foundation has been raising money for environmental charities since 1998 and has conservation projects in around 50 different countries. DiCaprio also has a top position with the World Wildlife Fund, WWF, where one of his passions is protecting the tiger. He has also been raising awareness of global warming through his documentary film about the issue, The 11th Hour. Since 2014, DiCaprio has been working with the UN to help raise awareness of climate change. In 2016, when nearly 200 countries signed an agreement to reduce global temperatures, DiCaprio was invited to make a speech at the ceremony.
Unit 3, page 36, exercise 2. Measure your eco-footprint.
Among other things, Earth Day encourages people to consider the size of their ecological footprint, how much their lifestyle affects the planet. To celebrate this special day, take our quiz and find out how many of the Earth's resources you have been using and how your activities have been affecting the world.
1. How much meat have you eaten this week?
A.
none or very little. B. A little every day. C. A lot every day.
2. How many of the fruits and vegetables you've eaten this week were grown in your country?
A. Most. B. About half. C. None or not much.
3. How many new clothes have you bought this month?
A. None. I rarely buy new clothes. B. Not many. C. A lot. I go shopping all the time.
4. How long have you been recycling?
A. For years. B. I've started recently. C. I don't recycle.
5. Have you ever used air conditioning in your house in summer?
A. No, we haven't even got air conditioning. B. Yes, sometimes. C. Yes, constantly. Why? Is that a problem?
6. How many times have you travelled by car this week?
A. Once or not at all. B. A few times. C. Every day.
7. How many times have you travelled by plane this year?
A. None or once. B. Twice. C. More than twice.
Score.
A equals no points. B equals 1 point. C equals 2 points.
Your totals.
0 to 4. Well done! You're an eco-warrior. 5 to 9. You've made a good start at reducing your footprint. 10 to 14. Oh no! It's time to get green.
Unit 3, page 38. Exercise 2. Canada, a country worth protecting.
Canada is one of the world's last great wild places. It's nearly 10 million square kilometres in size, but its population is only about 35 million. A large part of Canada is in the Arctic Circle. It has 50 national parks, including mountains, forests, glaciers, and marine parks. Like the rest of the world, Canada has had environmental challenges, but it has also found ways to manage them.
The action zones.
Forests. About 40% of Canada consists of forests. Large areas of forest are protected, which means that it is prohibited to have industry there or to cut down trees. There are also laws to protect wildlife and the rights of native people who depend on the forest. Polar bears. 2/3 of the world's polar bears live on Canadian territory, and Churchill, in the province of Manitoba, is known as the polar bear capital of the world. The bears need to go on the ice to hunt seals, but the water temperature in Churchill is now about 2 degrees warmer than it used to be, and the sea ice has been melting. Canada is also working with scientists, animal rights activists, and native people to protect polar bears. They now have a special protected status. As a result, the number of polar bears in Canada has remained stable.
Unit 3, page 38. Exercises 4 and 5.
Vancouver, on the northwest coast of Canada, is one of the greenest cities in North America. That's green in both senses of the word. The city is surrounded by forests and mountains, but since the early 2000s, It has also been making a big effort to reduce its ecological footprint on the environment. In that year, the city decided to follow the Greenest City Action Plan, and it's been changing the way that a lot of its inhabitants live. Some of the goals of the action plan are to reduce the city's greenhouse gases by 33%, to make all of its new buildings as green as possible, to reduce the city's water consumption by 33%, to reduce the quantity of waste that it produces by 50%, and to plant over 100,000 new trees in the city. In fact, since 2008, Vancouver has been trying to become the greenest city in the world. What's amazing is the success that the Greenest City Action Plan has had. Vancouver currently has the lowest levels of greenhouse gas emissions of any city in North America. The city has reduced its water consumption by 20%, and there has been a big increase in the number of people cycling, walking, or taking public transport. In fact, 50% of journeys in Vancouver are now made without a car. As a result, the air quality in the city is also much better than it used to be. The city has reduced waste by collecting organic waste from people's houses, making it into compost, and selling it back to the city's gardeners. Walking around Vancouver, you can see that they have planted new trees and that people are growing their own food in community gardens. There is also low-energy lighting and cycle lanes. There are bicycles for sharing and free parking spaces for drivers who share cars. The results of the Greenest City Action Plan are there for everybody to see.
Unit 3, page 39. Exercise 1.
Hi, what are you doing here?
We're giving out information about plastic waste.
I didn't know you were interested in environmental issues.
Of course I am. It's an important issue. You really ought to read about it. Did you know that only about 9% of all plastic is recycled? Don't you think that's bad?
Yes, I suppose it is. But try to see it from another point of view. Recycling uses up energy, and it causes some pollution too. Haven't you ever thought about that?
Of course we should try to reduce our consumption, but that's not the point. We all use plastic, and if you put plastic in a landfill site, it can take 400 years to disappear. Did you know that?
No, I didn't realize it was that long.
In the Pacific Ocean, there's an area of plastic waste that covers about 1 million square kilometers. You must admit that's serious.
You're right. That's terrible.
It is. So, can I persuade you to take a leaflet now?
Okay, you win.
Unit 3, page 39. Exercise 3. Persuasive language.
You really ought to read about it. Did you know that? Don't you think that's bad? Try to see it from another point of view. Haven't you ever thought about that? That's not the point. You must admit that's serious. Can I persuade you to take a leaflet now?
Towards Invalsi, page 43. Exercise 2.
Hi, Jake. What are you drinking?
Oh, hi, Grace. It's an energy drink. I've been revising for tomorrow's exams. I'm getting a bit tired, and I'll probably have to stay up quite late tonight.
Well, you'd better not drink that. My sister told me that they speed up your heart rate so much that they can make you feel anxious. Instead of helping you concentrate, they can have the opposite effect.
Oh, really? How does your sister know so much about energy drinks?
Because if she passes her exams this summer, she'll become a nutritionist. She's been studying for 3 years.
A nutritionist?
Yeah, someone who knows about the relationship between food and health.
Sounds interesting. So what does she recommend then?
Eggs.
Eggs?
Yeah, apparently they're very good for the brain, particularly for the memory.
I love eggs, so that explains why I'm so clever.
Actually, I was going to suggest that you should start eating more of them.
Very funny.
Anyway, eggs also help your muscles to grow stronger. So if you eat them regularly, you won't have aching muscles after your rugby training or working out.
Interesting. So what else does your sister say we should eat?
Well, if you want more energy, you should eat bananas. Natural sugar from fruit is much better for you than the sugar that they add to energy drinks and fast food. In fact, she says we should cut down on all fast food. Apparently, it slows our brains down and can stress us out.
That sounds scary. OK, so this evening I'll have an egg salad and a banana for dinner. Let's see if that keeps me awake.
Well, actually, studying all night isn't a very good idea either.
Are you going to tell me that I should drink a glass of hot milk and go to bed at 9 o'clock?
9 o'clock is perhaps a bit early, but a glass of milk does help people to relax before going to sleep.
Well, I've never thought about having a glass of hot milk before going to bed, but I'll try it if it will help me pass my exams.
Unit 4, page 44. Exercise 1. 1,
Sculpture.
2,
Drawing.
3,
Painting.
4,
Architecture.
5,
Ceramics.
6,
Textiles.
7,
Photography.
8,
Street art.
9.
Computer graphics.
Unit 4, page 45. Exercise 3. Positive.
Amazing. Brilliant. Wonderful. Inspiring.
It depends.
Strange. Challenging. Original. Unusual. Weird.
Negative.
Awful. Ridiculous. Shocking.
Unit 4, page 45. Exercise 5A.
Crazy. Better. Art.
Unit 4, page 45. Exercise 5B.
Ceramics. Weird. Together. Modern. Sculpture. Colour. Very. Original. Price.
Unit 4, page 45. Caitlin's vlog. Exercises 2 and 3.
Hi there. I'm just back from a really brilliant school trip. It was a trip for all the art classes at my school to 2 of the famous art galleries in London. To be honest, I wasn't looking forward to it that much. I'm doing graphics at school, which is a type of art, but it's a bit different from painting and drawing. It's more like designing with the computer and using photography and things like that. So I thought the trip would just be looking at old paintings or weird modern sculptures, which I'm not really into. But surprisingly, it turned out to be a really good trip. First, we went to the National Gallery in Trafalgar Square. I enjoyed that a lot more than I expected. I thought it would be pretty boring. But there were lots of famous paintings there, and we had a really good guide who showed us round. In the afternoon, we went to Tate Modern, which is a really amazing modern art gallery next to the river. A lot of the art in there is quite challenging. In fact, some of it is just weird. Like a really big pyramid that's made of oranges. That's it. Just a pyramid of hundreds of real oranges. It was getting smaller all the time because they let visitors take an orange if they wanted. There was also a wonderful photography exhibition there. It was a collection of photos of a tree. The photos were all of the same tree, but they showed it in different light and at different times of the day and year. I know, it sounds a bit weird, but it was really inspiring.
Unit 4, page 46. Exercise 2. The Madonna and the UFO.
The Madonna and Child with the Infant St. John in the Palazzo Vecchio in Florence has confused viewers for years. What is the strange flying object in the corner of the painting with a man and his dog watching it? Some people think that because it has the shape of a dome, it must be an alien spaceship. Others have a more normal explanation. They think that it might represent an angel or the Star of Bethlehem. In the Bible, angels are sometimes described as clouds of light, so that could be an explanation for the mysterious UFO.
A second Mona Lisa.
Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa is probably the most famous painting in the world. Some mysteries about it have already been solved. Experts are now pretty certain that the woman in the painting must have been Lisa del Giocondo, the wife of a rich man from Florence. But there are theories that Leonardo might have painted a prequel to the portrait. Another version of the painting may show how Lisa looked 10 years earlier. The earlier Mona Lisa was kept for years in England, but is now in Switzerland. Many people believe that it is genuine, but some experts say that it can't be a real Da Vinci because the technique isn't good enough.
An anonymous artist.
Banksy is one of the most famous British artists. His satirical street art appears unexpectedly in locations all over the world. In 2009, a surprise Banksy exhibition opened at Bristol Museum without any publicity, and in a similar way, his sinister theme park, Dismalland, appeared in 2015 in a British seaside town. But Banksy almost never does interviews, and no one knows his real identity. Some people think that he might not be a young street kid. They think that he could be from a rich or middle-class family. Other people think that one person can't have produced all that work, and that there must be a whole group of artists working as Banksy.
Unit 4, page 48. Exercise 2. YA. Fiction for us.
Before a certain boy wizard first appeared in bookshops, fiction was often divided into adult novels and children's books. But with the Harry Potter series, another category of fiction became popular with readers. Today, young adult YA fiction, which is aimed at 12 to 18-year-olds, is the hottest trend in the literary world.
So, what are some common characteristics of a YA book nowadays?
The characters, who are usually emotional, intense, and impulsive, are teenagers. We feel that we know them because the story, which is seen through their eyes, is usually in the first person, using I and me. The plot, which is more important than the style of the language, normally involves characters overcoming obstacles and growing as people. The book often includes some dark, difficult themes, and may even be set in a future dystopia where society has gone bad. The story probably doesn't have a traditional happy ending, but there is usually a small message of hope at the end.
Unit 4, page 48, Exercise 3. 3 of the best YA books. His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman, 1995 to 2000.
This series of 3 fantasy books, which are set in parallel universes similar to ours, follow teenagers Lyra and Will as they battle against the Magisterium, an authority that tries to control every part of their lives.
Noughts and Crosses by Mallory Blackman, 2001.
In the alternate world of this book, where black people hold all the power and there are strict laws about race, Sephi and Callum fall in love in a Romeo and Juliet-style relationship.
A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, from an original idea by Siobhan Dowd, 2011.
13-year-old Connor, whose mother is dying of cancer, is visited every night by a tree monster who says that Connor called him. The monster tells Connor stories to help him understand his situation.
Unit 4, page 49, Exercise 8.
Novel. Biography. Love story. Romance. Horror. Ghost story. Adventure story. Poem. Play. Short story. Fantasy book. Myth.
Unit 4, page 49, Exercise 10. 1,
Happy ending.
2,
Theme.
3,
Setting.
4,
Chapter.
5,
Protagonist.
6,
Cover.
7,
Plot twist.
8.
Narrator.
Unit 4, page 50, Exercise 2. Dublin, the Literary Tour.
Famous for its people's way with words, Ireland has produced 4 Nobel Prize winners for literature. And Dublin may be the world's greatest literary city.
1. The James Joyce Centre.
Joyce, whose novel Ulysses is considered one of the greatest works of the 20th century, is probably Dublin's most famous writer.
The novel tells the story of a day in the life of some of Dublin's people and follows the plot of Homer's Odyssey. A short walk down the city's famous O'Connell Street takes you to a statue of the writer.
2. Merrion Square.
This elegant park contains a statue of the Victorian writer Oscar Wilde, who is famous around the world for his short stories, poems and plays. Wilde lived in one of the houses on the square.
3. The Abbey Theatre.
Ireland's National Theatre was opened in 1904 with the help of the poet W.B. Yeats. At that time, Ireland was ruled by Britain, and the theatre was a symbol of Irish nationalism.
4. Dublin Castle.
Bram Stoker, who is the author of Dracula, was born in Dublin. Some people think that the city's castle must have inspired Stoker to write his horror novel.
5. Trinity College.
This is Dublin's ancient university, where Wilde and Stoker were students, along with Jonathan Swift, the author of the novel Gulliver's Travels, and Samuel Beckett, whose surreal plays earned him a Nobel Prize.
Unit 4, page 50. Exercises 4 and 5.
With me today is Orla Evans from the James Joyce Centre in Dublin. So, Orla, you must be busy getting ready for this weekend.
That's right, Dan. Saturday is the 16th of June, and that's the day every year when Dubliners celebrate Bloomsday.
So, what exactly is Bloomsday? Is it a festival?
Yes, it is, but it's a very particular festival. It's a celebration of James Joyce's novel Ulysses. The reason it takes place on the 16th of June is because that's the day when the action in the novel happens.
So, the plot of Ulysses all takes place just on one day?
That's right, which is quite amazing when you consider that the book is over 700 pages long.
You're kidding. It must go into a lot of detail. So, why do you call it Bloomsday?
It's named after the main character in the book, Leopold Bloom, who is just an ordinary citizen of Dublin on an ordinary day. But in Ulysses, we see him as Homer's hero Odysseus, and his journey around Dublin is compared to Odysseus's sea voyage. Different Dublin characters represent the mythical characters from Homer's story.
So, what do people do in Dublin on Bloomsday?
Well, if you're feeling energetic, you can have a walk around the city, maybe go on a guided tour following the plot and places in the book. A lot of the buildings mentioned in Ulysses, hotels, churches, pubs, still exist, although unfortunately Bloom's house, which was a real address, was destroyed in the 1960s. The novel is set in 1906, so people wear costumes from that period. They have public readings from the book around the city, or they act out scenes from the book.
For example?
Well, near the start of the book, Bloom eats a big fried breakfast, so there are special Bloomsday breakfast events all over the city.
And how long has this festival existed?
Well, the book was first published in 1922, and James Joyce and his friends used to celebrate Bloomsday every 16th of June. In 1956, which was the 50th anniversary of the book, some famous writers made it more of a public celebration, and it just grew from there. Now there are food stalls, bands and singers, and it's just a big celebration of the city.
Unit 4, page 51. Exercise 1.
What are you reading?
It's The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. We've been reading it in English.
Is it good?
I love it. The plot's so exciting.
I think I've seen a film of it. Does the main character have his portrait painted?
Yes, and he stays young while the portrait gets older.
And when he starts to do bad things and commit crimes, the portrait gets more and more horrible.
That's right. It's such an original story.
I thought the film was pretty good.
In my opinion, it's always better to read the book before you watch the film.
Really? Personally, I think that watching a film can help you understand the book.
Well, we'll have to agree to disagree then. What are you reading in English?
Dracula. It's so amazing. I didn't even know it was a novel.
I wonder why they've chosen such scary books this term.
I don't know, but if you ask me, it's made English lessons much more interesting.
Unit 4, page 51, Exercise 3. Expressing personal opinions.
In my opinion, personally, I think that watching a film can help. We'll have to agree to disagree then. If you ask me, it's
Adding emphasis to opinions.
The plot's so exciting. It's such an original story. It's pretty amazing. They've chosen such scary books this term.
Unit 5, page 54, Exercise 1.
Have a good time.
Learn about other cultures.
Go on a cruise.
Travel by ferry.
Travel by coach.
Fly on a plane.
Sunbathe on the beach.
Go sightseeing.
Visit friends or relatives.
Visit museums or attractions.
Pack a suitcase.
Go backpacking.
Go out at night.
Read a guidebook.
Stay in a hotel.
Go camping.
Buy souvenirs.
Hire a motorbike or skis.
Book tickets and hotels online in advance.
Buy a one-way ticket.
Unit 5, page 55, Exercise 3. 1.
B. Day trip. Business trip. School trip. 2. C. Summer holiday. Beach holiday. Package holiday.
3.
D. Holiday resort. Tourist resort. Seaside resort.
4.
A. Coach tour. Sightseeing tour. Guided tour.
Unit 5, page 55. Exercise 4. 1,
Tour.
2,
Trip.
3,
Voyage.
4,
Journey.
5,
Excursion.
6,
Resort.
7.
Holiday.
Unit 5, page 55. Liam's vlog. Exercises 2 and 3.
Morning all. I can't wait till the weekend. I really need a break, so I'm going away for a few days with a group of friends. We're going camping in Cornwall and we're going to hire bikes. I'm sure we'll have a great time. Well, at least I hope so, because my last trip was a complete nightmare. My family and I booked this cheap package holiday to Malaga. When we got off the plane, it was absolutely boiling, nearly 40 degrees. And, of course, I didn't pack any shorts in my suitcase. Anyway, we also discovered that our hotel was in a tiny resort an hour away from Malaga by coach. We were literally in the middle of nowhere. Top tip, always look at a map or read a guidebook before you book your accommodation. And the hotel was really old and the beds were uncomfortable. I didn't sleep a wink. My sister Amy didn't seem to mind though. She stayed in bed all morning and then sunbathed all afternoon by the pool. I wanted to go on some excursions or do a tour of the city, but Amy didn't. She hates sightseeing and just wanted to relax. It was so boring. On top of that, our plane was late on the return journey. I bought these cheap souvenirs at the airport while we were waiting to remember my worst holiday ever. See you next time.
Unit 5, page 56. Exercise 2. Would you be up for it?
Do you wish you could travel around the world? Where would you go? What would you do? Would you be a fearless traveller, or would you play it safe? Take our quiz to find out.
1. Would you spend a night at this ice hotel if you visited Sweden?
A. Yes, I would. B. I might. How cold is it? C. No, I wouldn't.
2. Would you swim with great white sharks if you were in South Africa?
A. Yes, I would. B. I might. How hungry are the sharks? C. No, I wouldn't.
3. Would you try fried spider if you were in Cambodia?
A. Yes, I would. B. I would do it if there wasn't anything else to eat. C. No, I wouldn't.
4. Would you walk across this glass-bottomed bridge if you were in China?
A. Yes, I would. B. I would do it if someone paid me. C. No, I wouldn't.
5. If you were in South Korea, would you visit the first toilet-themed park?
A. Yes, I would. B. I would go if I were nearby and had some extra time. C. No, I wouldn't.
6. Most people wouldn't stay here for a month if they didn't have the internet. Would you?
A. Yes. I wish I lived in a place like this. B. I would with friends, but not with my parents. C. No way.
Unit 5, page 57, exercise 8. 1,
If I could go anywhere, I'd go to Brazil.
2,
I would do it if someone paid me.
3,
What would you do if aliens came to Earth?
4,
I'd do it if there wasn't anything else to eat.
Unit 5, page 58, exercise 2. One girl and her motorbike.
What were you able to do when you were 12? Zenith Irfan could ride a motorbike. Her brother taught her the basics. At first, she wasn't able to control the motorbike, but with lots of practice, she managed to do it. Zenith's father had wanted to travel around the world on a motorbike. Sadly, he couldn't fulfill his dream because he died young, so she decided to do it for him. In June 2015, aged 20, Zenith set off from her hometown of Lahore, Pakistan, on a 700-kilometer solo trip to the beautiful Kashmir region. Zenith knew that some people might react badly if they saw a woman biker, so she covered her face and dressed like a boy. She managed to complete the journey in 6 days. More importantly, she was probably the first woman from her country to do that. In Pakistan, women don't usually travel alone, and they hardly ever ride a motorbike. When Zenith came back from her trip, she documented it in a Facebook blog, Zenith Irfan, One Girl, Two Wheels. Through her blog, she was able to share her photos and stories with the world. In August 2015, she got on her bike for a second trip, accompanied by her brother. They travelled 3,200 kilometres across northern Pakistan on very difficult roads. They stopped off in remote villages, met friendly locals, and ended up at the border with China. On her trip, Zenith was able to see snow for the first time. But she also had a terrifying moment when her motorbike broke down. Her brakes failed on a mountain. How was she able to come down safely? She was able to slow down by using her gears in a clever way. On her motorbike, Zenith felt free and closer to her father. She also hoped her blog would inspire others to visit Pakistan, to break stereotypes, and to follow their dreams.
Unit 5, page 59, exercise 7. 1,
Get on.
E. 2,
Set off. A.
3,
Come back. B.
4,
Stop off. F.
5,
Slow down. H.
6,
End up. G.
7,
Come down. D.
8.
Break down. C.
Unit 5, page 60, exercise 2. Exploration's greatest hero?
In August 1914, the Irish explorer Ernest Shackleton set off from England to Antarctica in his ship Endurance, a word meaning the ability to do something difficult for a long period of time. A Norwegian team had already managed to reach the South Pole in 1911, so Shackleton's plan was to cross the whole of Antarctica. But his expedition soon got into trouble, and Shackleton became famous instead for one of the most incredible survival stories in history. In January 1915, the weather conditions began to change. Winter began, and the Endurance became trapped in sea ice. Shackleton's crew were able to live on the ship for a while, but as time went on, the ice began to press on the ship. When they realized that the ship was breaking up, Shackleton and his men moved onto the ice itself and began to live there. Luckily for history, the expedition had an official photographer who was able to take hundreds of photos during this time. On the 21st of November 1915, the Endurance finally broke up and sank into the sea. The men camped on the sea ice for another 5 months, but they couldn't stay there forever. Temperatures were rising, and the ice was beginning to break up too. They had 3 small lifeboats. After 14 months stuck in the Antarctic, it was time to leave.
Unit 5, page 60, exercises 4 and 5.
In April 1916, the 28 men set off from their camp on the ice in 3 small boats. They were hoping to travel to South Georgia, an island where they knew there were houses, people and ships. About a week later, they ended up on Elephant Island, a remote place over 1,000 kilometers from South Georgia, with a population of only penguins and seals. Shackleton knew that the group couldn't survive for long. Nobody knew where they were, and they couldn't contact anybody, so he decided to go and find help. Shackleton and 5 other men set off in one of their small open lifeboats. They were on one of the stormiest seas in the world, in some of the worst conditions Shackleton had ever seen. Incredibly, they managed to reach South Georgia safely after 16 days. But this wasn't the end of their journey. The men had landed 35 kilometers from the nearest human habitation. 3 of them were too tired to walk, but Shackleton and 2 others set off immediately and walked for a day and a half. They had to cross mountains and glaciers before they were able to reach the houses on the island. When they arrived and told their story, plans were made to rescue the men who were still on Elephant Island, but the ice was strong, and the first 3 rescue ships couldn't get to them. Finally, in August 1916, a 4th ship managed to land on Elephant Island and rescue Shackleton's men. They had been on the island for 4 months. They managed to survive by sleeping under their lifeboats and eating penguin meat. In the 2 years of the disastrous expedition, nobody had died. When Shackleton returned home, Europe was in the middle of the First World War, but Britain was still able to celebrate his return. Shackleton's journey from Elephant Island to South Georgia in a small lifeboat is now recognized as one of the most heroic sea journeys in history. Shackleton went back to the Antarctic in 1921. He died during the voyage and is buried in South Georgia, the scene of his most famous expedition.
Unit 5, page 61, exercise 1.
Guess what? My family and I are spending half-term in Tuscany. We're flying to Pisa.
I wish I could come with you.
Me too. A week with my parents is going to be so boring.
Not in Florence. I'd find a hotel in the centre if I were you.
Where can we find cheap accommodation?
You might want to look at this website. You'd better book it soon. May can be peak season in Florence.
What would you recommend doing there?
The first thing I would do is go on a walking tour. You could easily visit the Duomo, Ponte Vecchio and the Bobbly Gardens in one day.
Slow down. I'll never remember all that.
Then I'd recommend hiring a bicycle. Most of the locals ride bikes. If your parents like art, you should visit the Uffizi Gallery. There are always long queues, so I'd book the tickets online. Oh, and you must eat at my favourite restaurant.
Too much information. Let's have this chat over a smoothie.
Good idea. But pay attention this time.
Unit 5, page 61, exercise 3. Making recommendations.
I'd find a hotel in the centre if I were you. You might want to look at this website. You'd better book it soon. The first thing I would do is go on a walking tour. You can easily visit the Duomo. Then I'd recommend hiring a bicycle. If your parents like art, you should visit the Uffizi. I'd book the tickets online.
Towards Invalsi, page 65, exercise 2.
The Ice Hotel is a hotel made each year from snow and ice in the village of Jukkasjärvi in northern Sweden. Jukkasjärvi is about 17 kilometres from Kiruna, the place in northern Sweden where the original Ice Hotel was built. Since its first opening, the hotel has been rebuilt each year and is open from December to April. The hotel, including all the chairs and beds, is built from snow and ice blocks taken from the Tune River. Artists are invited to create different rooms and decorations for them, so all the rooms are different. As well as the bedrooms, there is a bar with glasses made of ice and an ice church, which is popular with couples who want to have a wedding with a difference. The bedroom temperatures are always around -5 degrees Celsius, and guests sleep in special sleeping bags. The ice bedrooms do not have any bathrooms, but there are bathrooms in a warm building close by. There is also warm accommodation available next to the hotel for any guests who find the temperatures too cold. The Ice Hotel has guests from many countries, and they usually fly into Kiruna Airport. When spring comes, the building melts away and returns to the Tune River. Building starts all over again in October, and the chosen artists work hard to get the hotel ready for opening in December.
Unit 6, page 66, exercise 1.
Vandalism.
4,
Mugging.
9,
Shoplifting.
10,
Theft.
8,
Murder.
11,
Terrorism.
5,
Robbery.
1,
Drug dealing.
6,
Kidnapping.
2,
Burglary.
12,
Pickpocketing.
3,
Cybercrime. Hacking.
7. Unit 6, page 67, exercise 3.
Crime. Criminal. Commit a crime.
Vandalism. Vandal. Vandalize.
Theft. Thief. Steal.
Robbery. Robber. Rob.
Burglary. Burglar. Burgle.
Mugging. Mugger. Mug.
Murder. Murderer. Kill. Murder.
Drug dealing. Drug dealer. Deal drugs.
Pickpocketing. Pickpocket. Pickpocket.
Shoplifting. Shoplifter. Shoplift.
Terrorism. Terrorist. Terrorize.
Kidnapping. Kidnapper. Kidnap.
Cybercrime. Hacking. Cybercriminal. Hacker. Hack.
Unit 6, page 67, Caitlin's vlog, exercises 2 and 3.
Hi again. Right, I'm going to make this quick because I'm going out in an hour, and before I go out, I've just got to watch this week's episode of Sherlock. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's a modern version of the Sherlock Holmes stories. I'm sure you've heard of those. The character of Sherlock Holmes has been around for over 100 years, and he's famous for solving crimes like murder, theft, and robbery, but mostly just murder, I guess. He's a really strange character. In lots of ways, he's unfriendly and not very nice, but he's really intelligent and he's always one step ahead of everyone else. In this TV series, Sherlock lives in the 21st century and is played by Benedict Cumberbatch. Lots of girls my age fancy him, but I have to say he's not really my cup of tea. But it's a great series, and funny too. There's another crime series that I watch on TV, but it's a bit of a guilty pleasure. It's called Midsummer Murders, and it's been going since the 90s. It's past its 20th season now. It's really cheesy, but I love it. It's set in the English countryside in a group of villages. They all seem like sweet, perfect places to live, but every week there's a different murder in one of the villages. It's all a bit silly, really, because obviously that would never ever happen in real life. But British people just seem to really love a good crime story, especially a murder. Right, now where did I leave the remote control?
Unit 6, page 68, exercise 2. Freedom fighters. Breaking the law to change the world?
When someone is arrested, we assume that they must have committed a serious crime. But sometimes laws are unjust, and people who were treated like criminals become our heroes. These famous people went to jail because they had broken their country's laws. Had they done anything wrong? You decide.
Mohandas Gandhi.
When Mohandas Gandhi, 1869 to 1948, was born, India had been under British rule for around 10 years. Gandhi campaigned for India's independence. He used peaceful methods, but Gandhi was arrested multiple times in his life. He was imprisoned by the British authorities 5 times, once because he had told other Indians to stop working and to disobey the British, and another time because he had led a demonstration to the sea to make salt instead of buying it from the government. When he was in jail, Gandhi often refused to eat. The British were afraid that he would die, so they always released him after a few months. India finally became independent in 1947.
Rosa Parks.
Rosa Parks, 1913 to 2005, was arrested in 1955 because she hadn't given her seat on a bus to a white person. By doing this, she had broken a local law in Montgomery, Alabama, that forced black people to sit separately from white people. Parks was taken to jail. A few days later, she was put on trial and given a fine of $10. But the story didn't end there. People were angry that the state had treated Parks so badly, and the American Civil Rights Movement won a lot of support because of what she had done. People boycotted the Montgomery bus system for over a year, and in the end, the US Supreme Court banned segregation on public transport.
Unit 6, page 69. Exercise 8. 1.
Jail. Prison. F.
2.
Arrest. C.
3.
Imprison. B.
4.
Release. E.
5.
Sentence. D.
6.
Trial. H.
7.
Judge. G.
8.
Jury. A.
Unit 6, page 69. Exercises 9 and 10.
Nelson Mandela was born in South Africa in 1918. He studied law and became a political activist. In 1944, he joined the African National Congress, or the ANC, a political party. In 1948, the South African government introduced a system of laws called apartheid. Apartheid separated white and black people in all areas of society. For example, white children and black children went to separate schools, and it was illegal for a white person and a black person to marry or have children together. Mandela and the ANC encouraged people to protest against apartheid. In 1960, there was an anti-apartheid demonstration in a town called Sharpeville. 69 black people were killed by the police, and the ANC became an illegal organization. In 1962, Mandela and other activists were arrested. They went to trial in 1964, and he received a sentence of life in prison at Robben Island, a high-security prison. He stayed in prison for 27 years, but he remained an inspiration to his followers. People around the world protested against Mandela's imprisonment and against the apartheid system. In 1990, the president, F.W. de Klerk, released Mandela from prison, and they began to work together to end apartheid. In 1993, the two men won the Nobel Peace Prize together. In 1994, there was an election in South Africa, where all black people could vote for the first time. The ANC won the election, and Nelson Mandela became president. In 1999, Mandela retired from politics, and he died in 2013. He had worked all his life to bring together the different people of South Africa.
Unit 6, page 70, Exercise 2. Coffee versus gangs.
We're talking today to Emma Barnes. Emma, you've been working for a project to keep young people out of crime, haven't you?
That's right. It's a scheme in Honduras, in Central America, called Coffee versus Gangs.
Honduras has got a problem with gangs, hasn't it?
Yes, Honduras has a high crime rate. There are around 5,000 murders every year in a population of only 9 million. It's an unbelievable statistic, isn't it?
It certainly is. So what's the cause of that?
Well, there's a lot of illegal drug dealing in Honduras. Organised criminal groups or gangs control areas of the country. Young people often become part of a gang because it's a way for them to make money or to protect their families.
And the gangs are responsible for the violence, aren't they?
That's right.
So tell us about the scheme to help them.
Well, Honduras is also one of the world's top coffee producers. The coffee company Kenco started the Coffee versus Gangs scheme in 2014. Every year, they take 20 young students from the cities to a farm in the country, and they train them to work in the coffee industry. The students live together on the farm, and they also study maths, language, and business.
And the scheme helps the students in other ways too, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. At the end of the year, they give the students money to start their own business. So the scheme is helping them to have better opportunities in the future. Most of the students plan to start their own farms, but some have chosen other business ideas, like a beauty salon or a bakery. And that can't be bad, can it?
Unit 6, page 71, Exercise 7. 1.
Honduras isn't an island.
2.
Honduras hasn't got a border with Chile.
3.
Hondurans don't speak Portuguese.
4.
Beans are used to make coffee.
5.
Coffee isn't the most popular drink in the world.
Unit 6, page 71, Exercise 8A. 1.
We've got a test tomorrow, haven't we?
2,
You don't know my sister, do you?
3,
It's a beautiful day, isn't it?
4,
They've never met, have they?
Unit 6, page 71. Exercise 8B. 1,
Tom's coming to the party, isn't he?
2,
They eat meat, don't they?
3,
You came on that school trip, didn't you?
4,
We haven't finished, have we?
Unit 6, page 71. Exercise 9.
You were busy last night, weren't you? I don't know what you mean, officer. There was a robbery in town, wasn't there? Was there? I didn't know. Don't act so innocent. We've interviewed you before about other robberies, haven't we? Yes, but you've never proved anything, have you? What were you doing in town last night? I wasn't in town, was I? I was at home. Was there anybody with you? No, there wasn't. You'll just have to believe me, won't you? No, we won't. You see, we've got this video from last night. Can you guess who's in it? It isn't Mickey Mouse, is it? But I can explain everything.
Unit 6, page 72. Exercise 2. Edgar Allan Poe and the birth of crime fiction.
Edgar Allan Poe, a 19th century American writer, specialized in short stories with mysterious, scary, or supernatural topics. His story, The Murders in the Rue Morgue, was first published in 1841. Many people today believe it was the world's first detective story, and it may have inspired the Sherlock Holmes stories and the famous detectives of Agatha Christie. In the story, Poe invents the classic figure of the brilliant detective who, by analysing small details, solves an impossible mystery that the police cannot solve.
The Murders in the Rue Morgue.
Set in Paris, this terrifying story tells how C. Auguste Dupin solves the mystery of a horrible murder. Two women, Madame L'Espanaye and her daughter Camille, are found murdered at their home in the Rue Morgue. Camille's body is found in a bedroom. A chest of drawers lies open, and on the floor there is a razor, some grey hair, and a bag of gold coins, which someone had delivered 3 days before. Madame L'Espanaye's body is found on the ground outside. Strangest of all, the room where Camille's murder took place is locked from the inside, and no one can open the windows. So how did the murderer escape? And where is he now?
Unit 6, page 72. Exercises 4 and 5.
Let us look at the scene of the crime, said Dupin. The chest of drawers was open and nearly empty. But why did the police think that someone had stolen clothes from it? Madame L'Espanaye and her daughter lived a quiet life. They didn't go out much, and they didn't need many clothes. Perhaps the drawers had been empty before the crime took place. And why didn't the thief take the bags of gold? The police are certain that the gold must have been the motive for the murders. But that theory makes no sense if the gold wasn't stolen. The fact that the gold had been delivered to the house 3 days earlier must just be a simple coincidence, something that the police had never considered. The police also believe that Madame L'Espanaye was killed outside the house, but my examination of her body and of the windows makes me believe that she was murdered in the bedroom. Imagine the strength that was needed to kill the 2 women with just a razor and to throw one of them out of the window. Someone had also pulled some of the hair from Madame L'Espanaye's head with a lot of force. There's no doubt about it. This was a brutal and ferocious murder done by a murderer with superhuman strength. Remember also the reports from the other people in the house that on the night of the murder they had heard a strange voice talking in a language that none of them had been able to recognize. What conclusion can we make from all this? A madman must have committed these murders, I said. It's a good guess, said Dupin. But even madmen speak in human languages, don't they? The voice that people heard on the night of the murder was completely impossible to understand. And anyway, look at this. Is this the hair of a madman? They found this hair in Madame L'Espanaye's hand after she had died. Tell me what you think of it. Dupin, I said in shock. That isn't human hair, is it?
Unit 6, page 72. Exercise 6.
From the finger marks on the bodies and the hair, which was bright orange, Dupin concluded that the murders must have been committed by an orangutan, a large monkey from the jungles of Asia. The voice that people had heard that night belonged to the orangutan's owner, who was a sailor. He had got the orangutan during a voyage in Asia. One day, he came home to find the orangutan in his bedroom. He was horrified to see that the orangutan had picked up one of his razors. Frightened of being punished, the orangutan jumped out of the window, ran down the street, and into the house of Madame L'Espanaye, where he had seen a light. There, the animal, in a panic, had committed the terrible murders in the Rue Morgue, before escaping again through the window.
Unit 6, page 73. Exercise 1.
Hello, I'd like to report a crime, please.
OK, what sort of crime are we talking about?
It's a theft. Someone's stolen my bag, and it had my camera in it.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's a pain, isn't it? So, where did it take place?
It was in the Blue Door Cafe in Henley Street. It was just half an hour ago, wasn't it?
That's right. I think it happened at about 4:15.
I'd put my bag on the floor, but when we got up to leave, it had gone.
Did the bag have anything else in it?
It had my sports kit in it, and a jacket.
Mm-hmm. How big is this bag?
It's a big sports bag. It's purple.
What's it made of?
It's plastic.
What make is the camera?
It's a Digipix Pro.
Do you have any idea who might have taken your bag?
No, I don't.
Unit 6, page 73. Exercise 3. You say,
I'd like to report a crime. Someone's stolen my bag. I think it happened at about 4:15.
you hear,
Where did it take place? How big is this bag? What's it made of? What make is the camera? Do you have any idea who might have taken your bag?
Unit 7, page 76. Exercise 1.
Bank card. Debit card. 4. Check. 7. Pin. 5. Bill. 10. Coins. 2. Price tag. 9. Cash. 1. Credit card. 6. Receipt. 11. Cash machine. 8. Banknotes. Notes. 3. Till. 12.
Unit 7, page 77. Exercise 3.
Summer sale, everything must go. Don't miss these great bargains.
We accept all major credit cards.
Massive discounts of up to 50% off.
No refunds or exchanges.
Please keep your receipt as proof of purchase.
Special offer. 2 for the price of 1.
Please check that you have received the correct change at the till.
Unit 7, page 77. Exercise 5. 1.
How do you usually pay for things? Do you pay cash or do you pay by credit or debit card?
2.
How much do you usually spend on clothes, food, or entertainment per month?
3.
Have you ever asked for a refund or an exchange? Why? Do you always keep your receipts?
4.
Do you usually shop around for bargains? Are you more likely to buy something if it's at a discount?
5.
Have you ever received too much change? Did you give back the extra cash?
Unit 7, page 77. Liam's vlog. Exercises 2 and 3.
Hi everyone! I thought I'd do something a bit different today. So I'm going to do one of those unboxing videos that you see a lot online. I know exactly what's in this parcel because I bought it online a few days ago and I got an email yesterday to say that they had sent it. It's a new pair of jeans from a really famous brand. And this style has literally just come out. The best thing about them is that they were a real bargain. The price was ridiculously low, so they must have been in a sale or something. I can't believe my luck.
Oh,
What have you got there?
It's those new jeans I was telling you about.
Oh, quick! Let's have a look. Are you sure it's your jeans? That parcel looks a bit small.
Yeah, I read the label on it. Oh no! I don't believe it!
What is it?
This.
Oh, Liam! That's hilarious! They're doll's trousers! Didn't you check the size when you ordered them?
I did. I chose medium. I just didn't realise these were for dolls. Oh, that explains why they were so cheap. Oh.
Is there a receipt in there?
Yes, here it is. I'll have to return them. Let's hope they do refunds.
Or I could go and get one of my old dolls for you to play with.
Oh, leave me alone, Amy.
Unit 7, page 78. Exercise 1. What kind of spending is trending? Black Friday, Cyber Monday, #Giving Tuesday.
It's the fourth Thursday in November. All over the US, people are giving thanks for the things that they have been given. But in shopping malls across the country, something else is happening. Products are being put in windows, and the stores are getting ready for the busiest shopping day of the year.
Black Friday.
Thanksgiving has been celebrated for hundreds of years. Because it is always on a Thursday, a lot of Americans have the day off work on Friday too, and millions of them head to the stores to start their Christmas shopping. As a result, shops usually have a big sale on that Friday, often with massive discounts. Black Friday, as it has been called, has been copied in the UK since around 2010. Every year, British people spend billions of pounds on that day. But Black Friday has its critics. The low prices in the shops can attract long queues and frantic crowds. Lots of people have been injured in the chaos as they hunt for bargains.
Cyber Monday.
On Cyber Monday, the Monday after Black Friday, online shops offer big discounts. Cyber Monday was invented in 2005 by a marketing association. They wanted to use the Black Friday weekend to encourage shoppers to order products online too.
#Giving Tuesday.
Some people feel uncomfortable about all this crazy buying and selling. They worry that Thanksgiving has been commercialized and that it has lost its true meaning. So the day after Cyber Monday has now been named Giving Tuesday. People donate money to charity, or they show their support through messages on social media. Giving Tuesday started in the US, but it is now being adopted by other countries. So it might make you feel better to know that next November, billions of pounds and dollars will be spent on Black Friday and Cyber Monday, but millions might also be raised on Giving Tuesday.
Unit 7, page 79. Exercise 7A.
It's been done. It's being done.
Unit 7, page 79. Exercise 7B. 1.
The shop windows being decorated.
2.
A shopping centre's been built.
3.
The parcel's been delivered.
4.
That item's being sold online.
Unit 7, page 79. Exercises 8 and 9. 1.
Every year, a turkey is saved by the US President from being killed and eaten for Thanksgiving. The White House turkey pardoning ceremony has been a regular Thanksgiving tradition since the 1980s, but the tradition of giving the President a present of a Thanksgiving turkey has existed for over 100 years. These days, the pardoned turkeys are sent to live in peace, usually to a farm.
2.
Final preparations are being made for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. The parade is organized by Macy's department store in New York and is the largest parade in the world. The tradition began in 1924. Giant balloons of famous cartoon characters are created specially for the event. The parade is watched by as many as 44 million people on TV.
Unit 7, page 80. Exercise 1. 1.
Save. B.
2.
O. F.
3.
Borrow. D.
4.
Pay back. G.
5.
Afford. C.
6.
Waste. A.
7.
Take out. H.
8.
Lend. E.
Unit 7, page 80. Exercise 2. How to be money savvy.
Managing your money can be difficult. Are you able to save money, or are you always broke? Tick the problems that are true for you. Then find out how to be clever with your money.
Teenagers' top 3 money problems.
I'd like to save some money, but I also love going shopping. Every time my bank balance starts to grow, I see something cool that I want to buy. I always seem to owe someone money. I often borrow money from my parents and friends, but I can't always pay it back on time. I can't afford to go out or to buy anything. I'd really like to get a part-time job and start earning money, but I have to study all the time.
And our top 10 tips. Save.
You don't have to spend a lot to buy things and have fun. 1. Avoid making impulse buys. If you decide to buy something, wait a while before you buy it. This way, you know that you really like it or you need to have it. 2. Shop around for discounts and try to make big purchases during sales. 3. Don't waste your money on snacks or expensive beverages if you can prepare them at home and take them with you to school.
4. Do you really need something new, or can you swap things with friends? That t-shirt you don't wear anymore may be on your friend's wish list, and vice versa. 5. Look for free stuff online. Lots of people are giving things away at sites like FreeCycle or Free Samples. 6. If you have a debit or credit card, avoid using it. Take some cash out every week and try not to spend more than that amount.
Earn.
You don't have to have a job to make money. 7. Consider selling some of your stuff online, but remember to ask your parents first. 8. Arrange to do some extra chores for your parents. 9. Are you good at doing anything? Babysitting, dog walking, computer repairs? Other people might be happy to pay you for your skills. Offer your services to friends or neighbours. It won't cost you a thing.
And finally,
10. Don't ask people to lend you money. You risk losing friends if you promise to pay it back and then you don't.
Unit 7, page 82. Exercise 2. The people in your pocket.
Designing a banknote is not an easy business. They have to be strong and durable so that they will last for years. Banknotes in many countries, including the UK, are now being made from plastic instead of paper. They also need to have complex designs so that they are difficult to copy. But perhaps the most difficult decision is who to show on a currency. For countries with a monarch, the king or queen usually appears on one side of the note. But what should be put on the other side? Some countries have strict rules. For example, living people can't appear on the currency of the USA. Most American banknotes feature old presidents, politicians, and generals, almost all of them men. Other countries feel that their currency should show more diversity. In 2017, Canada produced a new $10 bill to celebrate the country's 150th anniversary. The people on it were carefully chosen to represent the whole of Canada's population. The 4 people are all politicians, but as well as the country's first Prime Minister, there are also portraits of a French Canadian, a woman, and a native Canadian. The bill also shows a variety of iconic Canadian landscapes and lists all of the country's provinces and territories.
Unit 7, page 82. Exercises 4 and 5. 1.
Jane Austen was an English writer whose novels have had a strong influence on the development of English literature. She wrote about the personal relationships and social life of the English upper middle class. Her most famous books are Sense and Sensibility, which was published in 1811, and Pride and Prejudice, which was published in 1813. Many of her novels have been made into popular films and TV series. Austen has been depicted on the British £10 note.
2.
Edmund Hillary was the first person to climb Mount Everest. He was from New Zealand, and he learned to climb in the New Zealand Alps on the country's South Island. In 1953, Hillary joined a British expedition to climb Everest. The climbers in the expedition were put into pairs, and followed different routes up the mountain. Hilary's partner was the Nepalese climber Tenzing Norgay. On the 29th of May, 1953, Hilary and Tenzing reached the top of the mountain. After Everest, Hilary continued climbing and looking for adventure, including trips to both the North and the South Poles. Edmund Hillary has appeared on the New Zealand $5 note.
3.
Australia is an enormous country of over 7 million square kilometres. People who live in its central desert area often live in very isolated communities. John Flynn was a religious minister at the start of the 20th century. He started visiting isolated farm communities as part of his religious work. He noticed that the people there didn't have very good medical care, so he began raising money for hospitals for them. Flynn also realized that those communities could be helped by the new technology of radio and aeroplanes. He was responsible for creating the Aerial Medical Service, Australia's famous Flying Doctors, in 1928. John Flynn has appeared on Australia's $20 note.
Unit 7, page 83. Exercise 1.
So, Ali, why are you interested in working for the Science Centre?
Well, I'm passionate about science and technology, and I'm interested in learning some useful skills at the same time.
Why do you think you're the right person for the position?
I like meeting people, and I'd say I'm reliable, organised, and hardworking.
The job involves taking payments and answering visitors' questions. Have you got any experience of doing either?
Yes, I have. I worked in a supermarket last summer, which involved answering lots of questions, and I've used a cash till before.
That all sounds very good. Have you got any questions?
Yes. What are the hours and the wage?
We'd need you here from 10 till 4, Monday to Friday. And the wage is £6 per hour.
That all sounds fine.
When would you be available to start?
I could start next month sometime.
That's great. We've got some other people to see, but we'll let you know in a week.
Great. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for your time.
Unit 7, page 83. Exercise 3. Interviewer.
Why are you interested in working for? Why do you think you're the right person for the position? The job involves taking payments. Have you got any experience of doing? When would you be available to start? We'll let you know in about a week.
You.
I'm passionate about. I'm interested in learning. I like meeting people, and I'd say I'm reliable. What are the hours and the wage? I could start next month. I look forward to hearing from you.
Towards Invalsi, page 87. Exercise 2. Speaker 1.
The most important thing when teaching your kids money management is deciding how much pocket money to give them. As early as age 5, children can start buying and paying for things themselves. This way, they learn that everything costs money. It gives them control, but it also teaches them why they can't have everything they want. They soon develop a responsible attitude to money. If they've only got £1, they know they can have some sweets or a comic, but they can't have both.
Speaker 2.
Give your children a piggy bank as a present. This way, they learn how to save their money. They'll really enjoy watching as their coins build up over the weeks into a larger sum of money. They need to learn at a young age that you shouldn't spend all your money at once. It's important for them to have a particular goal in mind, and to learn not to spend the money they've saved until they've got enough for something they really want.
Speaker 3.
I think children are too young to think about money. They've got the rest of their lives to worry about it. Childhood should be a fun and carefree time when you get what you want and learn to ask for everything life has to offer. It's very important to make sure you don't limit yourself in life and that you learn to believe that everything is possible. Young people learn to deal with money as soon as they start living on their own, and in my opinion, that is early enough.
Speaker 4.
My father always had the best car on our street, but then we couldn't afford to pay our rent. My mum wasn't much better. She used to spend a fortune on clothes or shoes without telling my dad. He always got really angry. I remember my parents arguing about money all the time. I'll never be like that with my kids. I think it's important to show children how to behave with money, how to earn, how to save, and, most important, how to stay within a budget.
Speaker 5.
When I was a kid, we didn't have any money. I was always asking my mum for things, shoes, clothes, games, and the answer was always the same. We can't afford it. I hated that. Now I've got my own kids, and my wife and I both work. We've got more money than my parents used to have, a lot more. So I buy my kids everything they want. I think it's only natural to want what's best for your children. If you've got money, spend it. That's my philosophy.
Unit 8, page 88, exercise 1.
Monitor. 1. Plug. 13. Mouse. 4. Earphones. 5. Microphone. 8. Charger. 10. Speaker. 14. Socket. 12. Cable. 9. Battery. 6. Keyboard. 2. Printer. 11. Memory stick. 3. Switch. 7.
Unit 8, page 89, exercise 3.
I love my phone. My phone's my life.
I use it to message my friends and to browse the internet. And I install a couple of new apps most weeks. If I want some quiet time, I plug in my earphones, put on some music, and turn up the volume. My phone is quite new. It charges really quickly, so I never run out of battery at important times.
I hate my phone. My phone drives me mad. It's an old model, and sometimes it completely crashes when I'm in the middle of something. I can't do anything then, so I have to turn it off and then turn it on again to restart it. We live in a small village where it's difficult to get a signal too, and I always run out of data before the end of the month, but my mum refuses to pay for any extra.
Unit 8, page 89. Amy's Vlog. Exercises 2 and 3.
Surprise! Yes, it's me for a change. I thought that I'd have a go at vlogging today because, let's be honest, if my brother can do it, it really can't be all that difficult. I've just borrowed his laptop and, as you can see, I've installed a few extra special effects to improve things a bit. It was so boring before. No one wants to just look at Liam's face while they're watching a video, I'm sure. So, let me tell you a bit about myself.
Amy, what do you think you're doing with my laptop?
I'm vlogging. It isn't that difficult. I just turned on the webcam and now...
Yeah, I know how to do it. Who said you could borrow my laptop? And what's all this rubbish on the screen?
The special effects? Don't you like them? I downloaded a new program for free.
Are you serious? You did what? Onto my laptop?
It did crash a few times while I was installing it.
Oh, I can't believe you did that without asking. You might have given it a virus. Oh, and look how low the battery level is. It isn't even plugged in. Where's the cable?
I think I borrowed it to charge my phone. It's in my bedroom.
Well, go and get it now before my laptop runs out of battery. Oh, unbelievable. So how do I get rid of these stupid special effects?
Unit 8, page 90. Exercise 2. 4 inventions you would have loved if you'd been a teenager in the 90s.
What would your life have been like if you'd been a teenager in the 90s? You wouldn't have had a smartphone, YouTube or Google if you'd been around in those days. So let's look at some of the inventions that would have rocked your world.
1. Modems.
A modem connected your landline to your computer so that you could use a new invention called the Internet. If you'd been an early Internet user, your modem would have phoned the Internet, literally, and then you would have waited and waited for a web page to load. When you were on the Internet, nobody in your house could make a phone call at the same time.
2. Internet cafes.
What would you have done if you'd been away from your home modem and you'd wanted to use the Internet? Easy. You would have gone to an Internet cafe. For the price of a coffee, you would have been able to go online and check your emails on one of their computers. The privacy at internet cafes wasn't great, but they were quite cheap.
3. The Discman.
This is how you would have listened to your favourite music CDs while on the move. If it hadn't been so big, it could have fitted in your pocket too. If you had been rich, you probably would have invested in one of the world's first portable MP3 players instead. Korea's MP man had enough memory to hold about a dozen songs.
4. The Game Boy.
If you'd been a 90s gamer, this gadget would have let you play games anywhere. The graphics wouldn't have been very good, but you would have played the first portable versions of Tetris or Super Mario.
Unit 8, page 91. Exercises 8A and 8B. 1.
You would have gone to an internet cafe.
2.
You wouldn't have had a smartphone.
Unit 8, page 91. Exercises 9 and 10.
Tonight on the programme, we've got Professor Adriana Foster, who's going to tell us about the 3 inventions that, in her opinion, have done the most to change human society and the world we live in. So, Professor Foster, let's have your list, and tell us how our lives would have been different if these things hadn't been invented.
Well, my first choice is from medieval times, and it's the printing press.
Really? So why was it so important?
Well, before the invention of the printing press, books were written and illustrated by hand. They were very, very expensive, and as a result, only a small number of people learned to read. If printing hadn't been invented, then information and the control of information would have stayed in the hands of a few rich people. Printing made books cheaper, so more ordinary people learned to read, and they started to discuss and to question things more too. I believe that the printing press was a more significant invention than the internet. And for that reason, I haven't actually chosen the internet for this list.
Oh, that's a surprise. So what other inventions are on your list, Professor?
My next choice is the electric light bulb. Before its invention, people had to use candles, oil lamps and gas lights. These weren't very safe, and they didn't give a very bright light. So when the electric light was invented, it meant that people could continue their activities into the evening, and that included work. As a result, towns and cities became more productive and richer. If the light bulb had never existed, electricity wouldn't have become such a common form of energy in our homes. Because people needed electricity for lights, other electrical inventions for the home quickly appeared too. Light bulbs are the reason why we have things like refrigerators, washing machines and TVs in our houses today.
That's fascinating. I'd never thought of it that way. So, one final invention for the top 3?
My final choice is a 20th century invention, and a medical one. Antibiotics, specifically penicillin, were mass-produced during the Second World War and helped to treat soldiers during the war. Antibiotics kill the bad bacteria in your body. Before their discovery, Millions of people used to die because of simple, common infections that had no cure. If antibiotics hadn't been invented, then hundreds of millions of people would have died. And who knows? Maybe the human race would even have become extinct.
Unit 8, page 92, exercise 1. 1.
Post. Share.
2.
View.
3.
Comment.
4.
Scroll.
5.
Tweet.
6.
Tag.
7.
Like.
8.
Swipe.
9.
Follow.
Unit 8, page 92, exercise 3. Why did I post that?
We've all done it. Posted something online that we later regretted. We've all hit the share button and then minutes later realised that we shouldn't have sent that photo to all our friends. According to a survey, 57% of Americans who use social media have shared something that they wish they hadn't posted, and 1 in 6 of them do it every week. The biggest worries about online mistakes are the fear of looking silly and the fear of offending a friend. So, what are your biggest social media regrets? James, 16.
I posted a stupid emotional message online last month when my girlfriend broke up with me. I got lots of supportive comments, but I feel really embarrassed about it now. I wish I hadn't shared so much.
Chrissy, 17.
I looked back through last year's posts and they are all photos of my lunch and lots of selfies that I wish I hadn't taken. What was I thinking? I should have realised how boring they were to other people.
Brandon, 18.
I tagged a friend in a photo of us when we were at a festival. She didn't look great in the photo. I should have asked her permission, but I didn't think that she'd mind. I was wrong. She didn't speak to me for a week.
Taylor, 15.
A girl at school posted a bad comment on one of my photos. I should have waited a day before I responded, because now I think it was just a joke. Instead, I replied in a way that was quite rude. I wish I'd ignored her.
Megan, 17.
I was looking at my ex-boyfriend's social media accounts because I wanted to see what he was doing. I was trying to scroll through his photos when I accidentally clicked on a like button. Now he knows that I was looking. I shouldn't have been so nosy.
Unit 8, page 94, exercise 2. Silicon Valley and tech giants.
In the last 3 decades of the 20th century, with the development of the personal computer and the internet, the world experienced a technological revolution. The heroes of the revolution were all young, intellectual, and mostly based in California, USA. Silicon Valley is the nickname for an area of California near San Francisco, where many of the first computer microchips were made of silicon. It is now the home of the world's most famous information technology companies. Well-known inhabitants of Silicon Valley have included Steve Jobs, one of the creators of Apple, and Mark Zuckerberg, one of the founders of Facebook. It has also been the home of Google since the time when it was just a search engine. Bill Gates, one of the creators of the Microsoft software company, started his business in nearby New Mexico. But the World Wide Web, or the creation of websites and web addresses, was the idea of Tim Berners-Lee from Britain in the 1980s. These giants of technology changed the world in only a few years. But to discover the world's first computer innovators, we need to go back to the Second World War, and even further. Scientists like Alan Turing created the world's first electronic computers in the 1940s at a secret location in England, in order to translate messages in code from the enemy. So if that war had never happened, and the government had never employed Turing and his colleagues, the computer might never have existed, and the information revolution might never have happened.
Unit 8, page 94. Exercises 4 and 5.
Ada Lovelace was born in 1815 into an aristocratic English family. Her father was Lord Byron, the famous poet, but her parents separated when she was a baby. Ada's mother was highly educated and friends with some famous scientists. If her mother hadn't been so intellectual, Ada would probably just have learned the traditional feminine skills like music and dancing. But instead, she had private lessons in science and maths. Ada's father had experienced mental illness, and her mother believed that if Ada studied a lot, it would help her to avoid the same problems. Ada turned out to be a brilliant student. As an adult, she continued with her mathematical studies, and she made friends with Charles Babbage, a famous engineer. Babbage had designed a machine for doing complex mathematical calculations, which he called the analytical engine. Ada worked with Babbage to develop his invention. She created algorithms for the engine, that is, a series of codes on cards to make it do different functions. Many consider these the world's first computer programs. Ada also looked further than maths, looking at ways to program the engine to produce music and artistic patterns, not just numbers. Ada married a lord and had 3 children. The analytical engine remained a design and was not built until after both Ada and Babbage had died. Ada's work was forgotten for 100 years until she was rediscovered by Alan Turing and other early computer scientists in the middle of the 20th century. Turing used some of Ada's ideas in his famous study Computing Machinery and Intelligence, but most people have still never heard of Ada Lovelace. Ada was ill for a lot of her life, and she was only 36 when she died. If she'd lived longer, she could have done much more important scientific work, and more people today would probably recognize her as one of the great scientific innovators.
Unit 8, page 95. Exercise 1.
Ali, I've got a confession.
That sounds bad. What have you done?
You know I just borrowed your phone?
Because yours had run out of battery. Yes?
Well, I'm afraid it fell out of my hand while I was using it. And now the screen's broken. I'm really sorry.
Oh no. Let's have a look. Well, it's not the end of the world. It isn't in the middle of the screen.
I wish I'd been more careful.
Don't worry about it. It's still working, and I'm getting a new one soon anyway.
I'm so clumsy.
Never mind. It was an accident, and I should have put it in a case anyway.
Unit 8, page 95. Exercise 3. Apologizing.
I've got a confession. I'm afraid it fell out of my hand. I'm really sorry.
Expressing regret.
I wish I'd been more careful. I should have put it in a case.
Accepting an apology.
It's not the end of the world. Don't worry about it. Never mind.
Unit 9, page 98. Exercise 1.
Brand. Advert. Slogan. Logo. Product. Label. Billboard.
Unit 9, page 99. Exercise 3. 1.
Adverts have a huge influence on us.
2.
Sports brands are usually sponsors for events like the World Cup.
3.
Actors usually have to do a lot of publicity when their films come out.
4.
Advertisements that you see on TV or hear on the radio are also called commercials.
Unit 9, page 99. Exercise 4. 1.
A. There are billboards around town to promote a new cinema that's opening.
2.
D. That advert is brilliant. It really grabs the viewer's attention.
3.
E. An advertisement needs to persuade consumers to buy a product.
4.
C. It's a new brand, so they're going to launch a big advertising campaign.
5.
B. They're advertising online. They want to reach the under-18 market.
Unit 9, page 99. Exercise 5.
Influence. Media. Cinema.
Consumer. Reporter. Discussion.
Promote. Campaign. Review.
Product. Billboard. Advert.
Unit 9, page 99. Caitlin's vlog. Exercises 2 and 3.
Hi everyone. I wanted to get your opinion on something important today because I've been approached by some people who are asking me to advertise some of their products on this vlog. Now, obviously you're all pretty smart, and I'm sure you realise that if someone on a vlog is going on and on about how great a product is, then they're probably being paid to do that, aren't they? Or they're getting loads of freebies. Tempting. But do we really want my vlog to turn into this sort of thing? Hey everyone! I'm just sitting here having a cup of tea and finishing this delicious chocolate bar. Yum, yum. That was really tasty. And while you're here, I wanted to show you something amazing that I bought this morning. Here it is. It's still in its box. So now you get the massive excitement of watching me open a box. Ready? Okay, I'm opening the box. And look what we've got. Some makeup. And it's my favourite brand. Isn't it great? So that's enough of that. Send me your comments and let me know if you'd like me to start advertising products on this vlog or not. I think I know what you're going to say.
Unit 9, page 100, Exercise 2. 5-star or fake?
Do you ever read online reviews? Do you trust online reviews more than you trust adverts? If you do, you're not alone. Around half of British consumers said that they looked at reviews on sites like Amazon or TripAdvisor to get other people's opinions before buying a product or going to a new restaurant or attraction. Good reviews can really help to promote brands and businesses. But have you ever had a disappointing night out somewhere when an online review said that it would be amazing? Or read a review that told you that you were going to love a product only to be disappointed when it arrived? Posting fake reviews is now big business. Some manufacturers break the law and write positive reviews about their own products, or they pay other people to do it. The marketing director of a London restaurant told a British newspaper that a lot of professional writers had contacted him over the years. One company told him that they could post around 50 good reviews of his restaurant at different times of the year. They said that the reviews would look genuine because they could post them from different accounts. Big companies are now using special software to detect fake reviews on their own sites, but a famous travel website once failed to spot some reviews for a restaurant called Oscars that didn't even exist. Reviewers said that the restaurant in a popular British seaside town was perfect. One person said that waiters would dive into the sea to get fresh fish for you while you waited. Lots of people went looking for Oscars, and the reviews stayed online for almost 3 months before the company spotted the trick. They apologised and said that because 60 different reviews were arriving at their site every minute, a fake one occasionally ended up online.
Unit 9, page 102, Exercise 2. Famous media hoaxes. Zero Gravity Day.
In 1976, the British astronomer Patrick Moore told radio listeners that at 9:47 a.m. that morning, certain planets were going to be in a straight line with the Earth, and there would be a rare moment of zero gravity. Later that day, when the channel asked listeners what had happened to them at 9:47 a.m., thousands phoned in to say that they had felt the loss of gravity, or that they had floated around their houses. Some people have said that one man asked the BBC if they could pay him compensation because he'd hit his head on the ceiling. He obviously hadn't noticed the date of the broadcast, April the 1st, or April Fool's Day.
Ghost Watch.
On Halloween 1992, 11 million people in the UK watched a TV programme called Ghost Watch. It appeared to be a realistic documentary presented as a live broadcast from the most haunted house in Britain. The shocking story about an evil spirit confused a large number of viewers. Some phoned the BBC and asked whether the programme was real or not, but a lot of people simply believed the story. Some people said that it was the most disturbing thing they had ever seen on TV. When an interviewer asked the writer why he hadn't made the hoax more obvious, He explained that he hadn't wanted to ruin a good horror story. The government asked the BBC to apologise, and Ghostwatch has never been shown again.
Unicorn meat.
In 2010, a website called ThinkGeek advertised an exciting new product, a tin of unicorn meat. The product was clearly a joke. The meat was just some jelly and glitter, but the manufacturers received a big reaction. They were criticised by animal rights activists, and the meat industry threatened them with legal action and told them to stop using the slogan, "The new white meat." One day, they received an email from a German customer. He wanted them to change the label on their product because his order of unicorn meat was being held by customs officials. They wouldn't send it to him because it was the meat of a rare animal.
Unit 9, page 103. Exercise 9. 1.
Broadcast. F.
2.
The press. C.
3.
Channel. B.
4.
Headline. E.
5.
Article. A.
6.
Report. H.
7.
Live. G.
8.
Interviewer. D.
Unit 9, page 104. Exercise 2. George Orwell versus propaganda.
George Orwell was an English political writer. He wrote both fiction and non-fiction, but his two most famous works are the political satires Animal Farm and 1984. During the Second World War, Orwell worked for the BBC, making propaganda radio programmes. Orwell famously once said that history had stopped in 1936, and after that there had only been propaganda. Propaganda and censorship are important topics in 1984, which was published in 1949. In Orwell's imagined future, Britain is part of a superstate called Oceania, which is constantly at war with one of the two other superstates in the world, Eurasia and Eastasia. Oceania is ruled by a single political party. The party and their leader, Big Brother, have total control over every aspect of people's lives, including their news, their language, and even their thoughts. The novel follows an ordinary citizen of Oceania, Winston Smith, as he starts to question the world he lives in.
Unit 9, page 104. Exercises 4 and 5.
In 1984, Winston Smith has a job at the Ministry of Truth. The Ministry of Truth is responsible for reporting all the news in Oceania. But this isn't an easy job. In one of the early chapters of the book, we see what Winston's job involves. He works for the Records Department, where the party keeps a copy of every book, newspaper, recording, or radio program that has ever been made. Big Brother and the party can never be wrong. So every time Big Brother promises to do something, but then fails to do it, the workers in the records department have to find the original newspaper report and rewrite it. For example, If the party said that they would increase the production of food by 20%, but in reality the production of food only increased by 10%, Winston then had to rewrite every newspaper article and change every 20% to 10%, or anything to make the party look good. Winston's biggest job in the novel comes when the party decides to stop the long war with Eurasia. They decide to become friends with Eurasia and to attack Eastasia instead. The workers at the records department have to search through 5 years of newspapers, books and films and change every reference to Eurasia as the enemy. If the party said the country was now at war with Eastasia instead, every old piece of information had to be corrected. The party didn't allow any opposition, and anyone who criticized them was killed. Whenever this happened, the party said that that person had never existed. Winston had to look through all the old records and remove that person's name from all of them. They were then, in the language of the party, an unperson. Orwell based the Ministry of Truth on his experience of working on propaganda during the Second World War. During the war, the BBC was controlled by the government's Ministry of Information. The ministry and its employees worked in a building called Senate House in London. Senate House matches Orwell's physical description of the Ministry of Truth. Orwell's boss there, the Minister of Information, was a man called Brendan Bracken. His employees called him BB, the same initials as Big Brother.
Unit 9, page 105, Exercise 1.
Ali, is anything the matter?
No, why?
Is there anything that you've forgotten to tell me?
What do you mean?
I've just heard something from Dan. He said that you were going back to Italy in the summer.
Yes, I am. That's right. For 4 weeks.
Oh, he told me that it was going to be forever.
What? No way! How ridiculous. Why would he say that?
I don't know, but I'm pleased it isn't true.
It really gets on my nerves when people talk about me behind my back. Do you have any idea why he's been saying that?
Well, Sasha told him, apparently.
I don't believe it. Do you know where Sasha got the idea from?
No, I think she just guessed.
You're joking. It really makes me cross. Why couldn't they just ask me?
Okay, don't shout at me.
Sorry, but it drives me mad.
Unit 9, page 105, Exercise 3. Expressing disbelief.
Why would he say that? I don't believe it. You're joking.
Expressing annoyance.
It really gets on my nerves when... It really makes me cross when... It drives me mad when...
Towards Invalsi, page 109, Exercise 2.
Today, we are joined in the studio by Andrea, who created her own startup 3 years ago. Andrea, what's it like to be a young businesswoman?
It's amazing. Since I started my travel company, Hike, every day has been different. Like an adventure, in fact.
So, What's the first thing you need to do in order to start a business?
I think you need a business idea that you believe in. I had my idea for a travel company when I was 19. I was planning a holiday and there weren't many holiday sites made specifically for young people. So I did some research about holiday companies at my university. I found out there were few competitors and there was a big demand for holidays for younger people.
Now, one thing that stops many people starting a business is the financial planning. Is it really necessary to create a business plan?
Yes, it is. You need a plan to check that your business will actually make money and to demonstrate that to investors. First, you need to calculate your costs. For example, I had to buy printers and pay for phone calls. Then try to estimate how much money you think you'll make and make sure it is going to be higher than the costs. Of course, you can't predict things perfectly, but it helps you to be realistic about things. I also found a plan helped my parents believe in me. They wouldn't have given me support if I hadn't produced a good plan.
So, after you found out how much you need, how do you start getting the money?
Well, before you sort out finance, it's important to consider marketing. Unfortunately, I didn't spend much time on this at first, and I think it was harder to sell my idea to investors before I had a logo and a website. Eventually, I got my cousin to design these, but if you can, I think it's a good idea to pay for a professional designer.
I imagine that's expensive too. Where can a young person find all the cash they need?
I think there are more ways to find the money nowadays. Some people still go to banks for help, but I found my investors with a technique called crowdfunding. You do a video presentation on a website and create a financial objective, for example, £2,000. Then, online investors decide how much they're happy to give you. If you reach your financial objective, you get their money.
That's very interesting. Andrea, thank you very much for sharing your advice.